Hello, all. Welcome to Eddys World. We're going to be switching things up this week and doing a little different. I'm your host, Nick Massey. I'm going to be interviewing the one and only Mr. Steve Eddy. Looking forward to it. Before we get to that, I just wanted to do music history. On September 21st, back in 1985, the hit band Dire Straits had their first #1 single ever with Money for Nothing, Chicks for Free. So without further ado, let's get to the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Steve Eddy. Hello.
Hello. Boy, this is strange. This is strange. Good to see you. Thank you.
Good to have you on this side of the couch.
Yeah.
So let's do what you normally do on all of your Eddys Worlds and just start off with your guest by saying a little bit about yourself.
My name is Steve Eddy. I was born in Union, South Carolina. That's right up the road, about 60 miles from here. But I moved to 96 after about 2 months of being a baby. On my dad's side of the family from 96. Stayed there until I was 7 years old. Yeah. Is that when you go to kindergarten? Somewhere along it. I left right at half the first grade. Dad was in the service, and we moved to California. Stayed there 2 years. Then we moved to Savannah, Georgia. He was transferred. And that's where I got my musical feeling, I guess you could say. It was about 1962, and Dad played in a country band, and I always got the pots and pans down, and I wanted to be a drummer, and I wanted to beat it, so I'd beat while he was practicing. Then he actually bought me a snare drum, and in a cymbal, and he said, "If you're good enough, I'll get you a kick drum." But before that happened, I decided I want to play guitar because I liked what he was doing. So he showed me 3 chords, E, A, and B, and taught me how to play Folsom Prison Blues, which I've only played twice in my life since then, because everybody else does it.
Oh, yeah.
But then he came home one day and had a record, and he said, "Check this out." And it was the Beatles, "I Want to Hold Your Hand," and I was 9 years old, and I said, "Yep, that's what I wanted to do."
Well, I always thought it was interesting because you told me, a lot of the guys that you've grown up playing with or played around, they were first inspired by music from watching the Ed Sullivan Show with the Beatles, but you told me your old man got you turned into some of the late, great country artists. And
yeah.
I think that shows a lot. I mean, you got the best of both worlds in the music that you play. Like, you can hear a lot of Beatles influence, a lot of Southern rock influence, but a lot of that really great old-timey country swang and twang in it.
Yeah, like I said, my dad, he loved, Don Gibson, Marty Robbins, but he listened to all kind of music, and he loved, and one of my favorites was, what the hell was his name?
Buck Owens.
No, well, I loved Buck Owens too. And I mean, he liked Buck Owens, but no, he was, more into just a little bit of everything. Like I said, it surprised me when he came home that day with the Beatles because it was so different, And he said, "These boys are going to be hot." He said, "It's different, but it's."
He sure was right about that.
Yeah. But after that, it was just, that was it. I found 2 or 3 guys in school in Savannah, and the day that we put a band together and played, my dad got orders to move to Puerto Rico. We played one job at the church party for the kids. We learned 2 songs. They were both instrumental. We had 3 guitars, bass, 2 drums. So it was kind of a Leonard Skinner band before Leonard Skinner. And we played Road Runner and Outer Limits or something like that, Twilight Zone, one of those songs. So we played those two songs for about 3 hours over and over and over. But the kids loved us and the little girls loved it, and I said,
That's
this is what
important.
I want to do.
Yeah.
So,
What was your first real band where you, I mean, obviously, the guys you were just mentioning, that was a real band, but when the first time when you were like, man, we could do something with this.
well, I'm, growing up in high school, and back then there weren't a lot, in the 60s, there weren't a lot of little bands, or they were just starting up. And my main focus, like I said, when I got into trying to put a band together, we were in Puerto Rico. We lived there 4 years on a military base. And Dad came home again one afternoon and he said, listen to this album. And it was Are You Experienced by Jimi Hendrix. And he said, now, that's some wild stuff there. He says, blues, but it's different.
Mm-hmm.
So then that really electrified me, and I said, I really want to do something, put a band together with some Puerto Rican guys and American guys, and we had a Filipino singer, we had an American drummer, and a Puerto Rican bass player, and myself, called the Jades.
Yeah. Should have just gone with bilingual.
You didn't think much about names back then other than, what you want to call it? Jades. Okay, that's good. Let's do it. Then I played with my sister and one of the guys he was in service working under my dad in the Navy. Very good guitar player. He played acoustic guitar. So we had a drummer and a 4-piece group. Did that for a couple of years, and we came back from there and came back in '96. Dad went to Vietnam and finished my last 2 years of high school in '96. I started playing with the Southern delegation, Penny Pinson, Freddie Pinson, from '96, Richard Hall, and most of these guys, Butch Attaway, and we played a lot of the beach stuff, and kind of got me into that. Didn't really know what beach music was.
Mm-hmm.
And then Christmas of '69, I got a call from John McElrath and said, I understand you play guitar. I went to school. I was a lot younger than your dad, but I went to school with him, and he was a great musician. Everybody really liked him. And somebody told me you play guitar, and I need a guitar player. Mine just had a motorcycle wreck and broke both his arms.
Mm.
He said, I need it tonight. So I said, sure. And so that was my stint with the Medallions. I played from '69 to '73.
Jesus.
Playing.
And y'all were going on the road back then a lot?
Yeah. I'd get special permission from '96 high school to let me get off early on Fridays or Thursday or whatever to go, and it was good. I was glad my parents let me do it.
Yeah.
It was hard when I graduated. Mom and Dad said, "Okay, where are you going to college?" Because they didn't go to college, and then their family had gone to college. And I said, "Well, actually, I'm moving to Atlanta, Georgia, and become a full-time musician." So, and they said, "Well, it's going to be hard." And I said, "Yeah, well, don't come to us for money." But I did.
Did they oblige?
Mm-hmm.
Bless their hearts.
But like I said, I left and graduated in '71, but actually stayed with the Medallions till it was the Double Shot Gang, because we couldn't use the name at that time. And moved to Atlanta, Georgia, with Paul Perkins and Wayne Freeman, who was the bass player in the Double Shot Gang. We decided to go to Atlanta and start a rock and roll band and do what we wanted to do. And did that for about 10 years. And moved back back here in 1980 to start playing with Kinfolk on the road. Did that for 3 years. They broke up. I played country music with Smitty and Howard Smith and some guys called whatever that band's name is. High Country.
High Country.
It takes me a while to
I
do
don't
this.
think I've ever heard of High
I'm not
Country.
used to it. Huh?
I don't think I've ever heard of High Country.
Yeah. It was a good little country band. We went on the road, played a lot of places. But then I said, hey, I better settle down and get me a job. And
Well, what was one of your favorite moments out there on the road while you did that? I guess more of a PG moment.
yeah, I can't talk about some of those. I don't know, just there were so many.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I met and played opening act kind of things, with a lot of different people. Two that stick out in my mind right off the bat is Wayne Cochran. I don't know if you ever remember him. Wayne Cochran, he was a white dude with white hair with a pompadour. He had a 13-piece band, guitar, bass, drums, and the rest were horns.
He's like a Brian Setzer type.
But I'm telling you, this boy rocked. We did a show with him in Atlanta.
Was he any relation to Eddie Cochran?
No.
Okay.
It's Wayne Cochran and the CC Riders. And I mean, you talk about a show now. That he put on a great show. And then when I was doing the country thing, we used to play a place in Charlotte called the Palomino Club. Big place, 5,000 people. Big, nice club, and we got to open up with quite a few people there. Every time we played, we'd go up there and play for a week. And Wednesdays, they would have a big act come in. George Jones came in, and I wasn't a George Jones fan, but when he stepped up with that microphone and started singing, it changed my whole thing about that kind of country music, and just really, these guys and his band were all great musicians, and it doesn't matter what kind of music you do. If you're good at it, it's good music.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So after settling down with Miss Tony, who'd you step in and start playing with then?
Well, I played with Brasstown Ball out of Abbeville, John Waldrop and David Jalmer. And that was actually about the tail end of it. Tony came, we got married, and I'm still playing with them. I started in about 87, I guess, with Brasstown Ball. And, we did the beach circuit kind of plays, a lot of weddings and things like that. In 1987, I actually met David Matthews, not but David was the original Dave Matthews.
The original.
And Ronnie, he called and he said, called me up and said, meet me and David and Eddie Wayne at Holiday Inn tonight. So I did, and he said, I want to put a 4-piece group together, thinking about us 4, And we did and called it Reds. And we did that for a few years. And then Ronnie and Eddie were doing their gig with the Fabulous Expressions. So Dave and I decided to do our own little thing because we just kind of bonded musically.
Mm-hmm.
We liked a lot of the same stuff. And we put a duo together called the Ravens. We did that till, probably about 10, 15 years.
And then and I always blank on her name, I apologize, but y'all had one other person that joined the Ravens for a little bit, correct?
That was Victoria Burnett.
Victoria Burnett. I
Yeah.
apologize.
She was, no, that's okay. Great songwriter, and, we did a 3-piece thing for a while with her. Then she got a record deal or singer-songwriter, mainly songwriting deal in Nashville, and went up there and did that for a year or two, and then, kind of lost track. I think she's back here in Greenwood or Greenville.
Mm-hmm.
Has family in there, but a very talented songwriter and needs to keep at it.
Yeah, she kind of brought the house down at Dave's benefit show that we had.
Oh yeah.
I guess was a lot of people as of more recent would probably remember your band with David Honeybone, with Stan Lockerbie, and Eddie Wayne was in that first, correct?
No, actually, me and David, when we were getting towards the end of the Ravens, because we were both getting kind of bored and didn't want to go play a lot of places because he had to play 4 hours, and as we got older, and said we're missing the full band thing. So
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Wayne quit the Expressions, and at that time we were working, I think it's like 2010, and we were working on doing the Kinfolk CD that we did and the reunion thing that we played. And then Eddie said, I sure would like to play with you guys. So we brought Eddie in, and we were known as Replay. And we did that for about a year. Then Ashby joined us to play a few gigs. And everybody had such a conflict of stuff going on. It was hard to get together and do anything and practice, and because we all had jobs and other gigs too going on. So, but Dave and I said, let's put us a band together. It's 4-piece, 2 guitars, drums, and so that's how we started auditioning drummers. Went through a lot of them. Tommy Mooney ended up being our first drummer, and that didn't work out. So we ended up getting Will Thompson and Stan Lockerbie. He was an old friend of ours, and we'd done some stuff, and we got together and jammed, and it felt good, so we put the Honeybone together, and lasted until Dave passed away.
I always loved it that y'all's fans were known as Boneheads.
Yeah.
That was great. Well, to get heavy on you for a second, like besides the obvious reasons of grief and losing one of your best friends, what was the hardest part about playing music with someone for so long and then having them unexpectedly pass away?
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's that's where I met his niece Dina at the funeral, and we were back over at the house after the funeral, and somebody said, Dina sings, and she started singing a Whitney Houston song, and I was just, of course, I would, somebody had given me a couple of muscle relaxers or something, and I had a drink, and next thing I was just like, oh yeah, this is great. Takes my mind off of all this. Let's do something, I need to go into a different direction. Even though we had a couple of things to do with Honeybone and the Spring Fest that we did, it was just hard, so I just naturally wanted to go do something different, and started doing the acoustic thing with Dina. We tried. I know, we hired you as a bass player to replace David, but it just wasn't the same. It was just hard for me, and I just couldn't do that anymore. I still haven't. I don't think I've really grieved yet.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I have. Maybe that's just the way I grieve. But I mean, he's still there with me. Everything I do, everything when I play, or sometimes I can hear him laughing, but it's been tough, because I had never bonded with a musician like that, and for a good amount of years, and So it was tough, but you know, we'll be together one day again.
Yeah, and that was one thing that always stood out to me watching you guys, seeing you in any version of what band you were in. You guys were always together, but the one thing that always stood out to me the most about going to watch you guys play, and besides it sounded great, was the amount of laughter that was going on between the two of you. It was like sometimes I'd see you guys falling out of your stools. You were laughing so hard. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't just your run of the mill having too many shots, having too much fun at a show. It was just y'all. You could just tell how much y'all enjoyed each other's company and how much you enjoyed each other's musical. Just, I don't know. It was a beautiful thing to see, and not a lot of people get to have that in their lives. Not a lot of people get to have musical brothers. And
that's one thing I'm very thankful of, that I did have that time with him, you know. And like I said, in all different bands and different things, but it was always just, you know, he and I thought so much alike musically. Mm-hmm. And it was just great. And so, you know.
Y'all seem to have your same, or be in on the same inside joke together.
Yeah. It was, you know, we knew, we could feel, we knew, playing, thinking wise, joke wise, whatever. It just, you know, we knew. You know, if one of us was in a bad mood, or did, you know, the other one just kind of back off, mm-hmm. and let him calm down, you know, and whatever. We never really had arguments other than, let's do one more song, man. Let's play one more song. You know? No, man, I can't play anymore. That kind of thing, but it was good. I mean, you know, I wish everybody could have a friend like that.
Do you ever have moments now when you're playing around where you kind of feel them with you, or feel?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. You just never know. I mean, you know, it could be when I'm playing. It could be just sitting at the house, thinking about a song. When I interviewed Steve Gambrell, and he told that joke, and that was just that kind of humor that Dave and I loved, and Dan Proctor, and it was just, as soon as he told that joke, all I could think about was damn David. Me and David and Dan sitting up here doing jokes and talking and just cutting up, you know, and laughing.
Well, what do you have going on in your world now? Still doing 3rd Avenue?
3rd Avenue, doing real well. We'll be playing this Friday. That'll be the 23rd at UCE. And next week on the 30th, we'll be at Howard's. Also be playing this Thursday, which will be the 22nd, which is tomorrow, with Ronnie Goldman at the Mill House.
22nd, Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay. Today's Tuesday, right? Wednesday.
It's okay.
I ruined it.
It's actually Monday. But we don't care. So,
I lost my days.
we're not coming live from Facebook anyway. Yeah.
Is there any part of you that you think, well, because right now you're doing the acoustic thing with 3rd Avenue, and it's great, but there is a lot of you that has a lot of rocking left to do.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just had my Telecaster redone, my Rockin' Stevie's World of Tone, completely redone. I'll be picking up tomorrow, and I'm gonna be working on some slide stuff of that. I want to get back into it. I'm kind of taking a little break. Mm-hmm. Just kind of, I'm trying to quit smoking. Mm-hmm. And trying to cut back on drinking. You know, because I am 63 and I don't want to, you know, I got a lot, like I said, a lot more rocking left in me. That's and right. I want to do that and take a few months off, get to chops back. I get to quit smoking and be able to sing a little bit better. And I want to play a little bit, do a lot of practicing, kind of getting my feel back. I have a little bit of arthritis, so it's getting tough.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not, I would love to have a band, I'm liking the blues. I always love the blues. But do my own kind of blues style.
Mm-hmm. Well, who's some of your top 3 influences, no matter what genre, what instrument? Top 3 that have the most impact on your life as a musician.
Well, of course, the Beatles, because that got me started.
Mm-hmm.
There's been so many numerous people. Dwayne Allman was a big. I love his feeling for guitar, his slide playing. Tony Bennett, all-time favorite singer.
You can
Just
go to 4 and
incredible.
5 too if you want to.
Huh?
You can go to 4 and 5 too if you want to. Just
Well, I can go on forever. It's a lot of influences and different kind of music. I've always loved all kind of music. Sometimes I remember when I was 12 going to the Savannah Symphony Orchestra. Our school would do that every year, and they would for 3 days. And you would go into school, and you'd have morning class, and then you get on a bus and you go downtown Savannah and you go and hear the symphony orchestra for like 4 hours. And it's like 3 days, and it was just for all kids, in school. And it was just, a lot of them didn't care. Yeah, they're playing and cutting up and jumping around, trying to make out and things like that. And me and my friends in the band, we just sit there just mesmerized from that sound. And so I love all kind of music.
who do you think is still around right now, or scratch that? In the history, who would you most want to get up and play with? Alive or dead?
Good question. Well, I definitely have to say Dwayne Allman. Is one. Clapton. From that era. Wow, I love those guys. There's a lot of great. Robin Ford is probably one of my favorite all-time guitar players. Lowell George from Little Feat. Bonnie Raitt. Just people that I really admired.
Sounds like a lot of slide players.
Yeah. Yeah, they were some of my favorites. I wish I had. I got into doing slide earlier on, and then I kind of got away from it. And I would really kind of want to get back into it, but have my own style.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm working on it. Working on some different tunings and things like that. And I've seen there's some great new band, Brothers Landreth. Great Joey Landreth, great slide player. And he plays in open C tuning. So it's low and it has real nice, different kind of effects. So a lot of good stuff out there. You have to listen to every kind of music and just explore. Damn, internet has been fantastic.
Yeah. Do you have any guilty pleasures out there that you might not, most people wouldn't guess?
I don't know. What do you mean by that, really?
Just guilty pleasures, something you listen to on the radio, like if Taylor Swift comes on, you're just like, driving the office van and just lose it, or
No, I've never really. I don't listen to music on radio. I don't listen to radio hardly. I guess if I had, satellite radio, I might listen to it more. Now I listen when I'm working during the day. I listen to talk radio. I've always loved that. Dave and I used to come back from playing somewhere late night and driving back, and we'd listen to talk radio and stuff and laugh and cut up. And so I like listening to that. A lot of the new stuff, I don't know. A lot of it sounds the same to me.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think I've ever really had like a Taylor Swift song that was, or
Well.
Britney Spears, or I have respect for the people.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing what they're doing. They're making money, and Lady Gaga. She's great. Things like that, but I just don't listen to radio anymore. I'm just internet to me, because there's so many independent groups out there that have stuff on YouTube. That's what I look for. A lot of really great things, and I guess it's just not mainstream enough
yeah.
for them to make it. But they're such great musicians.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know there's been a lot of them over the years, but is there maybe one that stands out the most in your mind, like one of your favorite shows that you've ever played in the Emerald City of Greenwood?
Yeah, the first show we did with the Kinfolk reunion
At the
at
community
the community
theater?
theater, that was really good. That was really stands out. There's been a few here and there, but that one stands out. It was just a good time, good crowd, good night.
It was actually wasn't there 2 nights? Or was there just one night? Y'all?
I think we did it again late. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But,
Man, the first one, wasn't it around Thanksgiving?
yeah,
So it had that holiday and
Yeah.
a bunch of people in town. Just
yeah.
good vibes.
Yeah, a lot of those, we used to do a lot of the kinfolk thing early on, back to the 80s and the early 90s. We'd do that once a year or twice a year somewhere. And it was always good. We did a lot of Christmas shows because everybody was home.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good, back the old Easys and Stokies. So,
That's right.
yeah.
So, anyway, I could talk you into playing us a song?
I believe so.
All right.
This has been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Been
Thank you
great.
for
Thank
letting
you
me
so
interview
much.
you.
Thank you for asking to do this.
Absolutely.
I'm enjoying doing Eddys World, and I hope everybody likes it. And I'll be back next week.
I think I have a request for next week's.
What's that?
I'd like to hear Will Thompson on here. Or
Would
see
you?
Will Thompson on here.
By itself.
By himself. I think he's well-rounded enough to be on here by himself.
Okay.
Don't you?
Sounds good.
You're being
I've
called
got-
out.
I also have the Jake Bartley Band coming up. I've contacted them and they want to do it. And,
Awesome.
Got some good people
Awesome.
coming up. Just trying to find the time to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
So-
Get the Jake Bartley Band hot after playing with Hank Williams Jr.
Oh yeah.
Sure, they got some
Right.
stories from that for us.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well,
Thanks
thank you
again.
so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. Thank y'all.
Here's a song called Hideaway, wrote in 1987. shadows fall in the moonlit night against the wall of wrong and right, struggling the shared desire, melting bed with a burning fire. Voices call all along the shore, standing tall, listening nevermore, wishing for a single day. Time's the only price to pay. We live for a distant day. We shall come what may. We only not afraid to say we love in a hideaway, hideaway. Picture this in a way unseen, secret kiss among the evergreen, embracing touch into one, woven hearts, honey, not undone. We live for a distant day. Oh, we shall come what may. We all need not afraid to say we love in a hideaway. Oh yes, love in a hideaway. Oh, hideaway. Thank you so much.